All right, so here we go. So we got some very big updates about Space Marine 2. Let me tell you what, this game is truly about to change forever. We got some amazing news straight from the creative director about the game's future. And yes, we're going to be talking about Update 8. We're going to be talking about Horde Mode. There's some dates that you will be marking on your calendar for sure. And we're going to be talking about some new responses from the community team, straight from the dev team, about what we can expect from the future of Space Marine 2 and a bunch of other stuff. And if you are on console, you're going to want to pay attention as well, because some cool things happening around modding there, and of course for PC. But yeah, I'm also going to go over your top comments. But let's get into the first update right here, the most immediate stuff here. We have a service update that did occur today on May 13th. Now, if you're wondering what this was, it was for matchmaking error diagnostics, which should hopefully make matchmaking a lot better, of course. But I say we get straight into the news here about Update 8 and Horde Mode. You're probably really wondering about that. So we have this headline right here: Warhammer Skulls 2025 showcase airs later in May, promises updates on Space Marine 2, Darktide, Mechanicus 2, and more. An article does go on to state this right here. The most important bit is that we are going to be getting highlights about, of course, Space Marine 2 and the Warhammer games. And this showcase is going to be slated to air on May 22nd on the official Warhammer Twitch channel. And I will have a full breakdown of this right here, just in case if you missed this. And apparently there are going to be week-long sales that slashes the price of Warhammer games and their DLC by up to 90% on multiple platforms. This is a real reason to get into Warhammer games that you might have missed out on. So that is really going to be cool. And I'm going to also probably be highlighting any type of discounts that you might see for Space Marine 2 as well. But anyway, yeah, that's really cool. And I would expect, of course, to hear about Update 8 and Horde Mode because of this little tease right here from our community management team. Of course, the question was, will the Update 8 come out in June? And Sister Hylia says the release date will also be confirmed during the Redacted. I'm assuming that the Redacted is, of course, this Digital Skulls 2025 showcase event. So that's when I think that we will be hearing and perhaps even seeing like brand new footage of Horde Mode. I'm not going to like promise anything here or over promise things, but I would expect that they would use that as an opportunity to highlight what they're going to be bringing us for Space Marine 2. I mean, it's marketing 101 here. So I really do think that we should see some big things on May 22nd. Now, of course, we will be getting that community monthly update that we always get for Space Marine 2 by the end of May as well. So look out for that as well for Space Marine 2. But yeah, let's get back into this right here. We have this right here. Question for the Horde Mode. Understandable if you can't answer. It says it's based on the PvE levels. Does that mean that you can level your class weapons directly through the Horde Mode too? That's actually a really good question, and the response is yes. So yeah, you can do that. You can go in and level up your weapons and everything, and then hop into Operations Mode, and it will retain what you did, your accomplishments from Horde Mode, which I think is a really, really cool system. Now, another question here is the following. Back in 6.0, the game director put out a statement saying that the Bulwark Healing Banner was a mistake and they never should have done it. Is there any plan to implement an Apothecary class to the game? It's confusing because I feel like the whole point of the game is making do with the limited resources, so Apothecary would defeat the purpose. And we did actually get a very interesting response here from the community management team saying, for now, there's no plan to add an Apothecary class. Now, note, she did say for now, so that could change in the future. But yeah, it seems like they really want to perhaps introduce different types of classes beyond Apothecary. Curious to see if the Apothecary does make it into the game once Horde Mode is introduced. Now, we got some crazy news from the creative director that you're definitely going to want to hear. Check it out right here. This was actually posted out on the Space Marine 2 modding Discord under announcements. So here we go. It says this: hi everyone, Dimitri here, game director on Warhammer 40K Space Marine 2. Today marks our biggest milestone yet in supporting the modding community. Even the model exporter and 12-player co-ops pale in comparison because as of today, we're releasing the official integration studio for public use. And by the way, stay tuned console players, I have some news for you in just a moment. This is the exact editor we use internally For all gameplay development, no more editing files in Notepad and praying you didn't miss a bracket. Integration Studio makes editing anything SSL related 10 times faster, safer, and more intuitive. So, you know, the modding scene has already, in my opinion, been absolutely crazy for Space Marine 2. We're about to see it go nuts. Like, this is going to be insane for Space Marine and long-term support. This is incredible. So here's some examples of what they have to say. With the first release, you'll be able to work with level scenarios, game modes, individual blueprints, and even write your own gameplay logic, AI behavior trees, work in progress, the AI director, abilities and melee combo logic, FX editing now 100 times easier, UI and HUD elements, and much more to come. And this is only the beginning. So I am super hyped to see what the current existing modders do with this. They're going to go nuts with it. And finally, he wraps up by saying this: not long ago, I promised we would support the modding scene, and we meant it. Watching the community grow, push boundaries, and create incredible experiences has been both inspiring and humbling. We're excited to see what you build next, whether it's a cinematic campaign, wild new game modes, or something we never saw coming. Massive thanks to the brilliant and passionate folks at Saber who made this happen, and he lists their names, of course, and many others behind the curtain. Oh, and just to showcase the creative potential, I've included some concept art for a Fishing with Daddy Calgar minigame. Yes, technically possible now with these tools. We can't wait to see what you all dream up. And here is the concept art right here. Man, gotta love it. You know, I love this Space Marine 2 team. How they support the community and also the modding community on top of everything. Now, there were some follow-up questions and some questions about consoles as well. Here's the first follow-up question right here. Check it out. I wonder if it'll be possible to use campaign levels to create new custom operations, perhaps? That'll be so very cool. You can make so much with the existing assets alone. And the response is yes, very much so. And that's the creative director responding right there. Now, a lot of console players kind of were bummed. Were like, hey, what about us? We're feeling left out. This sounds so incredible. And it was highlighted right here. As the title suggests, I like to push for modding support on consoles as well. I'm sure we've seen in other games like Baldur's Gate 3, Skyrim, and Starfield that it is indeed possible for consoles to receive mod support. And since the devs are the absolute goats, that they gave modders the dev tools, I think if we push hard enough, we might be able to get a mod browser as well. It would be nice for console to get some of the love. Am I right, Battle Brothers? He is definitely not wrong. Now, there is some news about console modding. It's not like you'll be able to mod from your console or anything like that. However, if you do have a buddy on PC that has mods enabled, check it out right here. Good news for all the console players regarding the recent big update about modding the game. The game director on Space Marine 2 goes on to say this: here's the fun part. Server-side mods will work on consoles. So if you change the level scenario, it will work on consoles if the person joins PC players. So what does this mean exactly? We got some responses right here. There's the question: what does this mean exactly? Say someone creates a modded lobby with a 12-person player count and massively ramped enemy numbers in operations mode. A console player could join that lobby, which is absolutely wild to think about. I haven't tried this myself at all, but that would be crazy. And someone did confirm down here that it does work, and he has actually been able to enjoy some of Stardy's mod plays and other ones just by witnessing it, you know, joining in on it. But it would be really nice if console players can fully embrace mod support. But hey, at the very least, you can go into some very cool modded gameplay lobbies even as a console player. This is wild news in my opinion. And it goes to show what they could possibly do here in the future with this franchise as a whole. Makes me wonder what they could do with things like Space Marine 3, how far they will take this down the road. If they're taking it this far now with Space Marine 2, yeah, the future is extremely bright for mod support for this entire franchise. Now, mentioning modding, check this out right here. It says, if Saber ever added the Terminator modded, look at that. That would be absolutely badass. A lot of you guys want to see this. 801 upvotes, so hopefully we get something like this officially in the game. Now, also, we have some other leaks going on. Just found these leaks in the Discord server about Blood Angels right here. It looks like we're going to be getting some Blood Angels customization options down the road, at least as a chapter, and then in Season 8, also is apparently going to be getting the white scars as well as a cosmetic pack. So that would be very cool to see for sure. A lot of people really excited about that one in the community for sure. Now, there is some issues that players are having with some enemy types. Check it out right here. We have biovores are BS and need to be changed. And he highlights kind of how they can really just knock you down pretty much instantly. And some players feel like this needs to be adjusted. Hate to say that it would be a nerf, but here's some of the complaints. Let's get into specifics here. What is their unarmored hitbox? Feels like no matter where I shoot, it's always shielded. And the response from the OP is it's their gun when they're anchored into the ground, but it isn't critical, so they take forever to kill. Plus the fact that the run knocks you over. On top of that, they can stun lock you, and they're effing mines. So how are you guys feeling about the biovores? Sound off in the comments down below. Do you think they should be left alone? It seems like you really have to work together as a team. Once they are on the map, on the battlefield, you have to immediately shift your focus onto hitting the biovore as much as possible all at once, no matter what, especially on those higher difficulties, or you're pretty much screwed. And I feel like that was the dev intent here. And yeah, let me know if you think that they should stick to that strategy where the entire team needs to like unload on it, or do you think it needs to be adjusted? I hate to use the word nerf, but if they do any balance adjustments, I'm sure someone would call it nerfing the biovore. But yeah, you guys know what time it is. It is time to go over your top comments. As always, remember to leave a comment down below. So let's find out what you guys had to say, shall we? So we have this one. It would be so cool if the developers added more slots for customization. Hell yes, couldn't agree more. You know, Astartes mod is like a perfect example for what you can do with customization as well. Then we also have this right here. I need Horde Mode. Don't we all? It's going to be a game changer. I think it should bring a lot of the community back to Space Marine 2. Big time, super hyped for it. And I really hope, again, I've said this before, but I really want to see some sort of mosh pit playlist where you can go in and set up like the Horde Mode one round, and then once you're done with that, it rotates over to an operation, and then you can just have like a big play session going back and forth between operation and Horde Mode. That would be really badass to see. Also have this one. I just wanted to play with 4 of my battle brothers in Horde Mode. Yeah, the update would be cool. Will it happen in the future? Guys, I wouldn't hold your breath. I think they're going to keep it as is right now, and they're going to try to learn how to fine-tune the matchmaking as much as possible through the entire life of Space Marine 2 to really kind of prepare for also things like Space Marine 3. Now, what do we got next here? We have, if they're doing the Blood Angels as the next chapter groups, I hope they give a shine on my poor boys, the Lamenters. I need my sad, unfortunate boys. Yeah, and someone also did note this. I seen leaks of them coming, so you never know. It could be happening here now. We have Blood Angels. Let's go, brothers. A lot of you guys excited about that one. And someone did mention that they want the Horde Mode to actually be 6 players. The game has 6 classes, so it will be way cooler if all the classes would be in this mode and the players would be separated in 2 squads to defend the 2 entrances to base. This is how I imagine it would be, and to be like a tower defense or like an Orcs Must Die to build some kind of traps and towers. This would be so cool. Dude, that's the dream. I think even the developers dream of Horde Mode ultimately being like that. But again, the biggest question is, and I'm going to ask you guys this, and I really want you guys to sound off. Would you guys like to see build defense mechanics introduced into Space Marine 2 through Horde Mode? That would be, in my opinion, just amazing. Things like turrets, barbed wire. I don't know. They could do a lot of really cool stuff with it. But anyway, there it is, the latest happenings around Space Marine 2. As always, thank you guys so much for the love and support, all the comments. It's been a minute, hasn't it, since I've reported on Space Marine 2. And let me tell you what, it's so good to be reporting on it again. But yeah, excited for the future. Glad to see the dev team still going strong with this game. And also, again, I say time and time again, cannot wait for Turok Origins, because this team is super talented. But thank you guys so much for watching. Stay tuned here for more, and I will see you all next time. Take care.